Hey guys, our Amazing Race is Saturday, and it's not a super complicated event, but I wanted to prep you guys a little bit beforehand because it's going to be fast-paced, and students are going to want you to understand and be able to explain things well at this event. So I wanted to equip you to do that. Each of you is going to kind of be in charge of your group and leading them through the race. So you're going to have to know the components of it. You'll get a lot of information Saturday that has all the steps, all the locations, all of the challenges, all of the rules on it. But I wanted to familiarize you guys with it and give you some pointers before Saturday so you can be a little more prepped to lead your team well. So a general structure of the race really quickly is you're going to have 5 locations around town that are all associated with the youth group to one degree or another. And then there's a challenge that you need to complete, that your group needs to complete before they can move on to the next location. So 5 locations. I'll walk through all of them just really quickly and give you a rundown of what to expect. The first one is the base of the A, so you're going to go to Foothills Trail. The address is going to be on the card that you get, and there is an option of 2 different challenges at this location. So you're going to open your challenge envelope when you get there, and you need to just present them what is on the front of that card, which is just going to say weight or height, and tell them these are the 2 challenges here. You need to pick one of those. Don't explain what that challenge is or what the rules are until they decide. So they don't get information on what the challenge is. They just have to pick either weight or height. And then the challenge is going to be the weight challenge is they have to load 50 pounds of material, rocks, sticks, things like that into a bucket. It needs to weigh 50 pounds exactly, not 50.1 or 49.9. Be a stickler on that. Make sure they get it right. And then the height challenge is going to be stacking rocks 2 feet high. There's going to be yardsticks and buckets and a luggage scale out there for you guys to use already. So the materials will be there. Things to remind your student of is don't let them wander too far off the trail. We want to be respectful to the trail. Don't leave all of your pile of sticks and rocks at the base of the trail after you're done. Obviously, they don't need to return them to the exact location where they picked them up, but they should spread them out and not just leave a pile of debris somewhere. And students, just make sure that they're being respectful. It's okay to move the nature around, but they should not be like picking up a bush and trying to put that in a bucket for weight or something like that. Just make sure they're being respectful. Next place you're going to go is Petco. This is going to be the Petco off of College and Prospect. This is where I bought Arnold, our trusty Blackmore goldfish. The challenge here is just one option, so every team is going to have to do this challenge. They need to go into the store. You're going to send 3 students if you're a middle school team and 2 students if you're a high school team. So high schoolers, because they're a little older, will have a slight disadvantage. They need to go into the store and they need to memorize every fish in the first saltwater section of the store. Okay, so I have that pictured here. It's the one right next to the sink. If you think you need to go in and make sure your students know what that section is, you can do that. Here are the rules. You want to be really, really clear with them on this. They only need to memorize fish. Okay, there are rocks in there. There are sea anemones. There are crabs. There are things like that. They don't need to memorize the names of those. They also only need to memorize the names of fish that are pictured. There are some fish that aren't pictured. They can skip over those. Lastly, they don't need to do any duplicates. So there are some duplicates of this fish. A type is in one container and then it's again in a different container, but it's the same name. They can cross that off. They don't need to memorize that. Should give them 15 fish that they need to memorize. I have those listed out for you here. I'll print this out for you on Saturday. So they need to go in, spend as much time as they want memorizing those, and then they need to come out and try to repeat them to you, their leader. They do need to go in order, left to right, top to bottom. So this is the order and the number of fish that they should be memorizing. Don't tell them this at the beginning of the challenge, but if they fail this 3 times, you can send in an extra helper to help them memorize. So 1 extra student to make 4 for the middle schoolers, 1 extra student to make 3 for the high schoolers. Once they get all of those fish correct, then they can move on to the next location. They don't have to pronounce these fish names correctly, obviously. It just needs to be close enough that you know they're saying kind of the right thing. Next place you're going to go is Walmart, the Walmart off of LeMay and Mulberry. This is where we do our Operation Christmas Child shopping. Make sure students behave before you go into the store. Tell them you have to behave. If we get kicked out, we are automatically disqualified. So be respectful. The challenge here is, again, just one option. They need to make Carter the perfect Operation Christmas Child shoebox. And so you will have on that challenge card a list of 5 things that Carter wants in his box. They need to fit in the box that you get at the beginning of the challenge. And then they also need to be under $40. So there's a list of those 5 things. You can split students up and tell them to go find that item and bring it back. They do need to bring back the price of that item. So they need to remember that or write it down if it's not on the item that they're bringing back, so that you can add it up and make sure everything is under $40. You don't have to add in tax, obviously, just add the prices together. One of the items on the list is Carter is going to want a new pair of running shoes. So they do need to get running shoes, and they also have to try to get his size correct. So he is a size 11.5. Do not tell them that. They're just going to have to guess. If they get this wrong a few times, depending on what place you're in, again, you're going to kind of have to feel this out throughout the race. We don't want anybody lagging super far behind. So if your team is struggling, you can give them more help. If your team is not struggling, then let them struggle a little bit if they're having difficulty with the challenge. So if they fail 2 times, 3 times, you can tell them his shoe size and just make them go back and get it. Another item that Carter wants for Christmas is a fishing lure, and he specifically wants a spinner fishing lure. The safest thing for your students to do would be to find a package that says this is a spinner fishing lure, so that you can know that they have it correct. If they don't do that, Carter's provided a little picture of what that looks like, but I would recommend they just find something that says spinner on the packaging. So that is what you'll be doing at Walmart. Then you're going to move to Dutch Bros, the Dutch Bros that we do our summer reading at. There's 2 parts to the challenge here. The first one is they need to try to list out the 11 books that they read this summer from the Bible. I'll have those listed out for you here. They need to do their best to remember that, piece that together. Again, if your team is really struggling, you can maybe give them a hint or 2 here. If your team is in the lead or even second or third place, let them struggle on this for a while. Don't tell them this at the beginning, but if they fail 3 times, they can then call one of their parents to try to get help. Obviously, no one can use outside resources. They just have to remember this. Once they complete that challenge, the second part is you're going to order a small Aftershock Rebel from Dutch Bros. Do not tell them what you're ordering. You're going to order that, and then you're going to have them taste test it and see if they can guess 3 of the 4 ingredients that are in that drink. So I have those 4 ingredients listed here. They need to get 3 out of 4 correct in order to move on. Last location and last challenge is actually going to be at my house, where we watched The Chosen and have had a couple of other events before. This is another one where there's 2 options. So you're going to open that challenge envelope, and it is going to say pots or slots. Those are the 2 challenge options for students. They don't get any more information than that. They need to just pick one of those 2 challenges. The pots section is to fix one of the many potholes in on our street. And so I'll have those kind of marked out which one they should do. That will kind of depend on what order you arrive and how many people pick to do that challenge. There are instructions on the back of that challenge card for how they should do that. It's not too complicated. And the pothole doesn't need to be perfect, but it also needs to be acceptable. They need to really follow those steps closely, and if they don't, you need to tell them, you guys failed, you got to try again. So essentially, they're just going to need to really clean out the hole with a brush to get all the debris out at first, and then they're going to go kind of 1 or 2 inches at a time, pouring this asphalt mixture in, and then they need to tamp that down. So pack it down with a 2x4 that will be there. They need to do that really thoroughly. That's what's going to make it stick and last. And then they repeat that process over and over until it's level with the rest of the road. Not too complicated. Again, it doesn't have to be professional grade, but don't let them just dump the bag into the hole and then kind of move it around a little bit and say that they're done. Make them actually work at it. The other option, the slots option, is they are going to have to throw a Frisbee into the Can Jam slot. Can Jam is a game we've played at youth group before. There's a slot on the front of the can that's pretty small that they have to try to make the Frisbee through that hole in order to move on. They can rotate who's throwing if they want, or they can just have one person try for a little while and then rotate out if they need to. If they struggle long enough, so I think I have on the card maybe like 10 minutes that they can move up to a closer area and continue trying. Again, feel it out. If your team is in first place, do not let them cheat. Follow the rules that are on the cards. If your team is in last place, you can cheat a little bit so that they're not lagging way too far behind. The goal of this event is the challenges should take them some time. They should be difficult. They should struggle with some of them, and we want that, and that's good. But we also don't want one group lagging so far behind, really struggling, spending an hour at one location. We don't want that. So you as the leader have to have the discernment to know when should I help my group and get them to move on a little quicker, and when should I let them struggle and make mistakes and take a little bit of a longer time. So that's some background on what's coming this Saturday. It's going to be really fun. It's not super complicated. You'll have all the information you need Saturday, but I just wanted to give you some primer so that you are ready to roll and be the best leader for your students. I'll see you guys in a few days.